This podcast is for voice teachers and coaches to answer the question, how do I grow my teaching business and even break out of that one-on-one lesson model so that I can reach and teach who I want whenever I want? I'm your host, Allie Tyler, voice teacher of over a decade and marketing and business coach for fellow voice teachers. Welcome to the Voicepreneur podcast. Let's talk about what may have come up for you listening to part 1 about intentionally being inconsistent. I do not want you to listen to that episode and go, oh, good. Justification. Yay. I don't have to post all the time. That's so great. I can just give myself a break. I can just, do this for my self-care and my alignment. So first, I'm going to preface by saying practically everything in the game of business and also in the game of teaching voice and singing and spirit and practically everything, there is nuance. There are contradictions, and that is okay. So I might sound like I'm contradicting myself when I'm like, don't use your alignment as an excuse, because this is really important for you to assess within yourself and be very, very fucking honest with yourself about whether or not you are using alignment and self-care as an actual Band-Aid almost, like as a real excuse for not stretching yourself. This is the nuanced part of being a business owner, is really understanding what season you're in, what you have the capacity for, what areas that you can actually stretch yourself, and whether or not those areas are actually important for you. Because I want you to think about business as if it were like a whole puzzle, right? There's all these different puzzle pieces. We have, you've got your content and being consistent with content, which we've talked about, being consistent in posting podcast episodes or posting reels on Instagram or sending out emails. But then we also have the back end part, the funnels, the website, the onboarding processes. We have how you actually accept your students. Are they filling out forms? Are they, contacting you on your website? Are they getting booked easily on your scheduling system? Like there's just so many pieces to running a sustainable and scalable business. There are so many pieces to this puzzle, right? And so I want you to think about the fact that all of these different pieces require a skill set. Whether that skill set is knowing how to make a Google form in less than 15 minutes, or writing up really good messaging on your sales copy for your sales page, or sending out an email blast really quickly and actually getting people to sign up for your offer within that email, right? Like all of these require a different type of skill. And all of these require you to stretch yourself. So you may be in a season like me where keeping up with content feels impossible. That piece of the puzzle is not getting a spotlight right now. And that doesn't mean that won't change. As I said before, next week, next month, I want you to find your own rhythm with consistency, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But that is hugely important, that not every single puzzle piece is going to have a spotlight on it, and that is perfectly fine. So what you can really think about is, where can I stretch myself this week, this month, today? Where can I stretch myself in better refining the skills that I need for a particular puzzle piece? So for example, maybe every time you sit down to write an email newsletter, it takes for fucking ever. It takes you a long time. And oh my God, I feel you on that one. Email has been one of my more challenging puzzle pieces in this whole puzzle of business. So I get this, right? And it just takes you a long time to get the wording and then the grammar. And you just suddenly 2 hours go by and you're like, fuck, I literally just spent these last 2 hours writing a freaking email. Raise your hand if you feel me on this. So that is a signal to you that this is an area that you can focus on, that you can stretch yourself with, right? You can get better at. You can refine that skill of writing quick emails. So how can you do that? Maybe you challenge yourself and you say, you know what? This month, I am going to send out an email every single week. Or for the next 90 days, I'm going to send out an email every 9 days. I don't know, I'm just making things up, right? But you create your own consistency. You create your own pattern because you are doing it in an effort to refine that skill, right? And this is something that you will hear me talk about on the podcast in future episodes, how important it is to make that your focus. Make that your focus. Above everything else, it's that I'm getting better at this thing. I'm getting better at sending emails. I'm getting better at my messaging. I'm getting better at posting consistently. I'm getting better at whatever it is, right? And let that be the space in which you are stretching yourself. Be very, very intentional with that. So right now, I have extremely limited time. I'm recording this as my son is hopefully still napping. I can't even look at the baby monitor because I can't do two things on my phone like that. I haven't heard him crying yet, so I'm assuming that he is still sleeping. So I'm doing this really quick because I'm like, okay, Kaya's napping. I have this thought. I'm going to get it out. I'm going to post it. And this is my limited time. I have these pockets of limited time like this. And that's just where my life is, where it's like, what am I doing now? 30 minutes. Ooh, 20 minutes. What do I do? Blah. My focus could very easily be on posting content if I wanted it to be, right? If I was like, this is an area that I need to refine my skill set and I just want to get better at and blah, 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 I can totally do that. And I did, and I do frequently. Not right now, not this month. This month, I'm not focused on that. This month to me feels like a time where I am getting ready to hibernate. We are in the holiday season. It's December. It's the most time of the year. Is freaking crazy. And so I'm not going to be in that rhythm of posting consistently, and that is fine. Instead, I'm going to put my focus in those little 20-minute sprints that I have on my messaging. I'm working really hard behind the scenes on tightening up my messaging across the board for the whole voice, for the voicepreneur, for everything. I want to get it so solid and crystal clear. And it's funny, I do pride myself on having good messaging. I do have good messaging and I have great copy. And at the same time, it's an area that I want to get even better at. So I am focused on that. And I'm also focused on automation. Those are the two things that I'm spending all of my time doing right now, is automating even more because there's so many layers to automation, so many strategies around it, and then tightening up my messaging. And so I can do both of these things without having to be consistent and burning myself out by trying to post, a bunch of podcast episodes and Instagram reels and blah, blah, blah. And my focus can change every month. January might feel totally different. It probably will. And then I can go back to that focus. And then I can pick another puzzle piece. And I can go to that focus. And then I can pick another puzzle piece and go to that focus and blah, 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 blah. It's hard to say over and over and over again. But that's how it works, right? And I want you to never stop stretching yourself so long as you are stretching yourself in the right direction. It's okay to take breaks. Absolutely. It's okay to own the season you're in and to recognize the capacity that you have. It is not okay to continue to use that as an excuse, as a buffer to bypass the work, to actually do the work. If you know that posting consistently has been hard for you, and it's been hard for you for months, maybe even years, that is your area of focus, my friend. You need to stretch yourself. Go do the work. Stop letting the whole, it just doesn't work for me in this season of my life be the reason that you haven't done it for years, right? Season's over, my friend. And, if that's you, you're nodding along. If that's not you, you're not. And you know who you are. So own it, whatever it is. Own the season that you are in and own the focus in which you need to stretch yourself. Own the area in which you know you need to stretch yourself and challenge yourself and grow and refine that skill. That is the dance of business, my friend. Oh my goodness, that was so juicy, and I'm so glad you're still here listening. You are amazing, and I can't wait to see what you take away from this episode and what you bring into your teaching business. It is going to be so good. If you want to come and see for yourself what it means to grow and scale your teaching business, come and check out the resources inside of the show notes or visit us over at thevoicepreneur.com. If you enjoyed this episode, take a screenshot, share it on your Instagram stories, and tag me at thevoicepreneur. Or if that's not your vibe, that's totally fine. Share it with your 2 best voice teacher friends so that we can continue spreading the good word that you can create a sustainable, spacious, and fun as fudge cake teaching business that makes an enormous impact on your students' lives and your life and your bank account. It's awesome. Thank you so much for being here. I love you so much, and I can't wait to see how your business changes your life. I'll catch you in the next episode.